Okay, so I decided to do my TED Talk on photography, and I've really done photography my whole high school career so far. So my freshman year, I took photo 1, my sophomore year, I took photo 2, and my junior year, which is this year, I've taken AP Studio Arts. And I've learned photography on a Canon mainly, so that's what I like to use, but I know how to use a Nikon and other cameras too. I just like Canons better. So this is what a Canon looks like. You can't see it. That's what a Canon looks like. And in photography class, we only use manual mode, so we have to change all the settings. And there are 3 main settings that you need to know in order to take a good picture while in manual mode. So there's ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. The ISO, that's how you get to it. You just click that little button. It ranges from 100 to 3200 on most cameras. So you need a low ISO if it's a nice sunny day out like this, and you would need a high ISO if it was dark and or you're inside. So ISO is basically just based on the lighting outside or inside. So the next setting that you need to know is shutter speed. And shutter speed is how fast the picture is being taken. So if you were at a sports game or people were moving fast in your photos, you need a high shutter speed. So like in this photo, the hand's going through the water really fast, so you would need a really high shutter speed. And it's based on fractions of a second or even a couple seconds if you want to slow shutter speed. But in this one, you would want like 1/300th of a second probably, or something around that, just so that you can capture the hand moving through the water even though it's going really fast. So if you wanted to get the full motion in the picture like this, you would need a high shutter speed because you would have to set it for a couple seconds to get the movement of the cars from where they started and where they moved to. So the last setting that you can change in photography is the aperture. That's where the button is for that. And the aperture changes the depth of field in a picture. And the depth of field is when something is focused in the picture and then the rest is blurry. That would be a high depth of field. And a low depth of field would be when everything is in focus. So in this picture, they have a high depth of field, so a high aperture, and it's set at probably like 6, 7, or 8 around for the aperture because everything in the picture is focused. And so they usually do that for all of the landscape pictures. But if you wanted something to be in focus and then the rest of the blurry, you would want a low set aperture. So my camera, the lowest you can set it is a 4.0, so this is probably 4 or 5. But when taking portraits, I usually use like a 5.6 just because you don't want everything super blurry in the background, but you still want the person in the picture to be the main focus. And this really brings out the emphasis in the picture and focuses the person, which is what you're trying to show in the picture. So those are the 3 settings that you can change. And there are obviously more in photography that you can change, but you just need to know how to change these 3 to get a good picture. And photography has really impacted me huge this high school career, and I've really enjoyed it. So I suggest that you guys try it out, and yeah.